as Tanner was leading that last touchdown drive. Just kind of, was there a lot of emotion to it for you, given that this team's been struggling, and here you come out and pull it out at the end?
Yeah, there was a lot of emotion flying around. Big thing was just not to screw up. You know, I didn't want to be the problem for our team not being able to have success in that last drive. And with Tanner back there, he was, you know, all fired up, ready to go. So, you know, just being able to do my job so then playmakers like him are able to, you know, showcase themselves well. I'm just happy to be able to just to get the job done.
Jerald, what does Tanner say in the huddle on that final drive? What does he tell you?
Nothing crazy, you know. I would say that it's more just, you know, the look that he had, you know, in his eyes. He was aggressive. He looked like he really wanted it that much more. And when you have a leader like that, you know, pushing you forward, it's just that much easier to respond with, you know, some kind of with positive play, with doing your job, you know, and just trying to get it so that he can get the ball out. So he didn't say really anything crazy. He said, let's go get it. I think something like that. But it wasn't anything too crazy, just the way he was looking at us. I could tell he really wanted it.
His first 4 games to now, statistically, are incredibly different, the 2 4-game stretches. Did he change it all from then till now, or has he been pretty even-keeled the entire time?
Same guy. I would say that a lot of that was on the O-line. You know, we need to protect better, make it so that he's able to showcase himself better. And I feel like we've really grown as a position group. Some of the stuff was just unlucky. You know, some things just happened to go the other team's way. I'm not going to, you know, take that away from the teams that we played, good teams we played, but we did have some unlucky spells here and there. So now that we're rolling, now that it looks good for Tanner, you know, in the last 4 games he's been playing really well. I'm just happy to see what we're going to be able to do in the last 4.
Jerald, you may remember saying this 3 or 4 weeks ago after the Wisconsin game. You said, I believe in what we have with our quarterback. He's a gunslinger, so in the sense of him being able to do what he does, I don't want us just to be running the ball the whole time. Saturday night kind of indicative of what you guys have thought of him all along, and what he did on Saturday night is who you guys kind of want him to be.
Oh yeah, definitely. I still think he's, you know, he's a top-rated gunslinger out there doing his job. I love, you know, being able to see the ball fly over my head and go into somebody's hands. It's always whistling by me, so it's great when he gets going, and I'm happy to see, you know, I didn't know how many yards he had until after it was over. People were freaking out, telling me he had 400 yards. I was like, wow, that's pretty impressive. But, you know, just to counteract the good, we still need to now go back and figure out our problems in the run game. That was a big part of why we couldn't get into, you know, the end zone there in the red zone. What was it, 4 times that we had that? So we really do need to take, you know, this win with a grain of salt, and just remember that if we want to be able to beat Northwestern, we really need to improve all around.
What are the challenges to run the ball this week, knowing Northwestern's held Barkley under 100, Taylor and Wadley, all those guys have failed to run the ball on this defense?
So say that one more time, please.
Northwestern's shut down the top 3 backs in this league under 100 yards this season. What are the challenges to run the ball this week?
You know, it's the same thing. Get on your blocks, keep your blocks, and let the ball carrier show out. I feel like, you know, we've been doing that pretty well for most games except for the last one. So I think we're going to get back to our technique throughout this week. Really, you know, get back to our old roots, so that we'll be able to have our running backs play the game that they can play really well in McHale, Devine, and Bradley.
So, Jerald, is it a matter of it's more technique than getting beat by the other team with regard to struggling on the run?
I would say it's both, I guess. That's just football. You know, our technique was there for our pass pro, and look where that got us, you know. I feel like we had some times where we got up there and we were all talking and not really being on the same page, and it showed out. It showed there. So us being able to be on the same page, us being able to figure out, bringing our hips to our blocks and things like that, I think it'll help us out in the next week.
Hey, Jerald, when you release when you get out to block downfield on a check down or a swing pass, how is that different from when you release on a run play?
I would say, doing it on a run play, you kind of know where the guy's going to be. You got a better sense of where he's going to be. If it's a screen or something like that, you're just going out there trying to cover him up and trying to give him a two-way go. What that means is, keeping your shoulders north and south so that, the ball carrier can pick which way he wants to. So I don't know. I feel like it's a little different, but at the same, you're going up to quicker guys than you. You still got to break down. If you're going to cut, you better throw it quick. So it kind of is the same, a little bit different just because the consistency.
Coach Riley said Decker's probably out for the season and Tanner's out for a while. How difficult was that to see both those guys and all they put in go down? And then what's the challenge for Cole and Matt trying to fill in now?
Well, we have tough guys, so I'm not counting any of my guys out for the season. And then to add on to that, Cole, he started, this year off, and Ferniak, he played throughout the year, so I'm not nervous having either one of those guys in. I feel like guys get better, everyone starts to get healthy, and then we just go back to having just 5 of us. But there's still 5 of us out there, and we're all going to be able to play. We're all going to be ready to play when we get to Saturday, go against Northwestern.
Hey, Jerald, Coach Riley's kind of talked today about thinking about maybe going more up tempo at times in games. Do you feel like is that something you guys would like, and is that something you guys work on much? Or?
We work on our up tempo game pretty much every day for a portion of the day. So if that's what works, it obviously worked at the end of the game. We were all up tempo for those last 2 drives that we had, and that worked out for us. So if that's the way we go. That's the way we go. Again, if we would have had our run game, I think that it would have changed up us needing to use our up tempo, just because we would have been able to turn those field goals into touchdowns, and that would have just helped us out, throughout the full game. But yeah, up tempos, it's cool with the O-line. Keep us in a 2-point stance. We don't have to get all the way down, so a little easier on your back.
A lot of people look at that when you have a tempo drive like that works and say, well, why don't they do that all the time? The theory as to why it maybe works in pockets, but a lot of teams don't do that, play that way for entire games.
I couldn't tell you. Some things work, some things don't. If it didn't, have worked as well as it did, us going into our up tempo, then we'd be sitting there saying, like, why would you go into, that at all? So I don't know. That's just how it worked out well for us, our up tempo play. We'll be using it probably. If you said Coach Riley said we're going to be using it, I guess we'll be using it. I'm fine with whatever we do. Both parts of the game are great. So I'm just going to be going with the flow.